Hey everybody, Lonzo and Zach from the Upstate Pulse, which, if you're listening to Word right now, you know we're not on because we're being preempted by basketball. It happens, has to do with money or whatever. We promised we would jump on and talk some WrestleMania, which is tomorrow night. Coming at you live from the Nerd Cave, as you can see from the background posters and stuff. Say something, Zach.
Howdy.
There we go. All right, so we're getting ready to play a mean game of Dungeons and Dragons as we prepare to get better at it. And eventually, we're going to allow a listener or some listeners to come and play Dungeons and Dragons with us. But right now, we're going to talk WrestleMania. And I got to tell you, I'm disappointed in the card. Years past, I looked forward to it, like when Ronda Rousey was going to be there, some other things. This year, I'm not so sure. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm not quite as excited. It's a lot of the matches were built short term. Like Jericho and KO and Brock and Goldberg are the only ones that they've been building for a little bit. Like Shane and AJ started like 3 weeks ago, I think.
Well, it was supposed to be Shane and Shawn Michaels.
That would have been.
But Shawn Michaels is retired and staying retired. Good for him. I mean,
But that would have been so good.
He can still walk and stuff. Although his eye's messed up. And
It's been that way for a while.
Yeah, the eye is funky. All right, so before Chris comes storming in here wondering where we are and why we're not down there playing Dungeons and Dragons, let's go ahead and get to the matches. I apologize for the camera shaking, but I played miniature golf today and my arms are sore. Anyway, so let's start with the main event. Let's just go down this list. Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. This is a lame match. It was a lame setup. I like Goldberg. It was great seeing him come back. This is all about giving Brock Lesnar the belt back. For the first time as far as the Universal belt goes. This is going to be probably over as quick as all the other matches were between them. And
the last WrestleMania match went a little while. Too long. They drug it out and it wasn't good. But
that was back when Goldberg actually wrestled on a regular basis. And Goldberg has said that he's not happy right now, but he's doing it because his family's happy. His run's probably over after tomorrow night. So
there are some rumors that he would stick around a couple more months, but I think you're right. He's probably done tomorrow night, which means the Beast will win the match.
And then the whole thing is, on the Monday after WrestleMania, who's going to be trying to go after the belt? KO versus Brock, I'm not so sure. They're probably not going to give Cena another run because he's got a lot of
guy anyway.
Yeah, you're right. He's got a lot of stuff going on. It doesn't mean he couldn't cross over. It depends
but he
on
is
what they
leaving
want
to
to
do a movie.
Right. All right, so the next match, Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. I also think this is kind of lame. Just the setup. The burning of the compound one building was actually pretty good.
Randy Orton should be in jail. It's arson.
Yes, it is arson, and it's against the law unless you're in the WWE, and then it's perfectly fine. Burning down the house is playing in my head right now. So anyway, I do like Bray Wyatt, but like Kevin Owens the last couple of years, Bray Wyatt hasn't been used right, and there's so much potential there what they could do with it. They never do what they should do. So I think Bray Wyatt keeps the belt.
I hope so, and I'm leaning that way a little bit. I feel like they might think they owe Orton for letting Brock bust him open back at SummerSlam, but you're right. They haven't used Bray well at all since he really got into the main roster. It's time to give him a good push, so hopefully he hangs on. All
right, Undertaker versus Roman Reigns, the match that Zach's most looking forward to.
If done right, I'll be okay with it.
You know what? I hope they don't turn Roman heel. I don't.
It's for his own good.
Just to satisfy people like Zach who think they can tell a billionaire and a $1 billion company how to do things.
They keep losing ratings.
They're billionaires for a reason. A lot of things are losing ratings. It has nothing to do with that.
Former employees and writers disagree with how they run the company.
Well, there's a reason why they're former writers, because they sucked. But anyway, so Undertaker's not going to lose this. They should have never let him lose to Lesnar. They should never let The Undertaker lose anyway. I really wish The Undertaker would retire. He's too old. He's too decrepit. He was on a walker like a few months ago. Does he need the money that bad? Maybe.
No, Vince is asking him every year.
I don't care if I can't walk. I'm not coming. Unless you want to have a walker
these
match.
Guys, they're dedicated to the business. They'll be out there in wheelchairs going.
So I mean, there may be interference or something. I know Kane's like running for mayor or something somewhere. Who knows? Maybe he shows up.
That'd be awesome.
Wow, he can use that as a campaign slogan or something. Killing the dead man. I don't know. So I think Undertaker's going to win.
I disagree. I think he's going to lose. I think this is his last go. He can't hardly move. He has the last great match he had was CM Punk, which was like 4 years ago, I think. Brock was good for shock value. The match itself wasn't great, and he hasn't had a great one since CM Punk. I think he's done.
All right, Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. A lot of people complain about this match. This has a chance to be the show stealer because Shane McMahon always does something incredibly stupid. I can't even say the word. So stupid that you think he's going to die. He always does that stuff, and it's always at WrestleMania. I still remember him going up against Kurt Angle, and they couldn't break that glass, and it was...
They put the wrong glass.
Yeah, that was so bad. Can AJ Styles' wrestling ability carry the match? Yes, and Shane is a better wrestler than people give him credit for, but he only does it every once in a while. But I can't wait to see what he's going to do, and I hope he lives.
I think it'll be an entertaining match, not a good wrestling match, but they'll have a lot of cool spots and stuff. In the short amount of time they build it, I think it's a pretty good build. AJ will win, and he'll get back in the title picture soon.
All right, so Nick's tag match, John Cena and Nikki Bella and The Miz and Maurice, yawn. Big time yawn. I think I'd rather see Maurice and Nikki Bella wrestle than John Cena and The Miz again.
John's your boy, and Miz is having the best year of his career.
Much like CM Punk, overrated on the mic, The Miz is not that great. Just because you're real passionate, I could be real passionate too, doesn't mean that I'm any good at it.
He's engaging. The points he makes.
Engaging to who?
To the audience.
Oh, okay.
Everyone, it's a consensus thing among most fans that it's his best year.
You can't say
people
that.
Are enjoying.
You can't say.
I read stuff.
You don't know most fans.
I read stuff.
Okay. Anyway, all right. And by the way, a lot of people go on these sites that tell you, "Oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen." Patrick does that, by the way. Who was supposed to play with us, but he decided to go home. But so I don't read those. I'd rather speculate on my own, and I don't want to know ahead of time. All right.
By the way, I think Miz and Maurice win. But John and Nikki will stand tall somehow, and he'll propose to her.
Well, that's been the tease the entire time. I really don't care.
I don't either.
Again, I'm okay. I want to see the women fight. I can care. John Cena's kicked Miz's butt so many times.
Miz beat him at WrestleMania.
How many years ago was that?
It's the only time they fought at WrestleMania. He's 1-0.
Okay, all right.
The streak.
Bayley versus Charlotte versus Sasha versus Nia. I like Bayley, but she shouldn't be champ because she has no mic skills. And I think the champ needs some mic skills. I really do. I like her, but she sounds kind of fake when she's talking. Like she's a little bit scared, which you would be too probably in front of all those people. Nia Jax should win this because she's bigger and she's brutal. And I would love to see the matches in the future between Nia and Charlotte because I think they would be really good, and I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think they've been setting it up for the boss to turn. She's going to turn somehow, and she's going to come away with the belt.
Yep. Part of Bayley's problem, they haven't booked her right. Like, she's a pure baby face, but they've made her look like she's an undeserving champion. So I think that's part of the problem with her whole character right now, is that's tough for her to sell because it's just weird. But I do agree. They've set up Sasha, and she'll win with the heel turn.
All right. Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. This should be...
Best story going into WrestleMania.
It is, but we saw it coming a year ago or whenever the friendship started.
Done.
Yeah. A couple Canadians kicking each other's butt. Yay. But, it probably will be a good match. I don't think they go all this way and not give it to Kevin Owens. I think he wins the belt because he didn't get to hold on to the Universal Championship. But it wouldn't shock me if Jericho, with the face turn, if they don't give it to him. But I'm going with KO.
Well, Jericho's getting ready to leave, but I heard he's sticking around for one more month, so he should do one more pay-per-view, I think. So he could win, but I think they let KO. I think Jericho will want to put Owens over at WrestleMania.
By the way, if you're watching and you're wondering, I'm slouching to make sure I'm the same height as Zach. I just felt like I needed to tell people that. Anyway, okay. Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin. I think this could be a really good match. I wish Baron Corbin would cut his hair because, and I know my hair's receding, but Baron Corbin, man, just go ahead and cut that stuff off. It's just, it's too bad. I mean, he looks like a drug dealer from a video game. He needs to
Well, that's a good heel look.
It is a good heel look, but you need to cut that stuff off there. And I think whoever wins should get to keep the motorcycle sound effect for their intro. The other person has to take it off.
That should have been the stipulation.
It should have been. Dean Ambrose is my boy. He's from Ohio. I'm always going to root for the Buckeye guy. Plus, I like him because he's crazy. I loved him when he was in the Shield. I couldn't stand the Shield, but I liked Ambrose. Yeah, whatever. I know. Your boy's in there. So you're saying 2 out of the 3 you couldn't stand. The only one you liked was the Architect, which we'll get to later. And we're finishing up because Chris will be knocking on the door here pretty soon. And it's getting warm in here, which is weird. And it's not usually warm in here. Usually it's freezing and we got to wear jackets.
I think Corbin will win, by the way. I think they're pushing him.
Yeah, I agree. I think Corbin will win too, which I don't want to see happen. I'd rather see Ambrose win. All right, just a couple more matches to go. The biggest losers of all, and more of Zach's boys, it's a trend here. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, horrible gimmick that they stole from the NWO.
Who stole it from New Japan?
Yeah, he's going to keep saying this stuff, but no one knows about the New Japan stuff.
People in New Japan know about it.
Yeah, unless you're a diehard wrestling fan, you don't know that stuff.
It doesn't mean that it was any less ripped off.
And Gallows and Anderson had more personality in what was that, Southpaw Wrestling. Check that out if you haven't seen it. It's some pretty funny videos.
It's not their fault that they get booked like crap.
And they're going up against Cesaro and Sheamus, who I think is going to win, unfortunately. And not my boys Enzo and Cass. I know you don't like Enzo.
I like Enzo.
I think Enzo is great on the mic. I think they let him get beat up too much. I'd like to see him compete in 205 Live. I think he would be awesome in that, but they're not going to do that. If New Day can't have the belts, I want Enzo and Cass to have them.
I think the winner is dependent on one thing. If there's nothing else going, if it's just a straight match between these 3, I think Enzo and Cass win. I think it's their time. If a certain tag team is coming back...
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Go ahead and say it.
The Hardys. I don't think they'll show up at WrestleMania. If they show up, they'll come back Monday night or Tuesday night, depending on what show they put them on. But if they were going to come back and they were going to put them on Raw, I would think that you would let the club win because they could start this thing where the greatest tag team in the world because they were in Japan and traveled over, and then the Hardys would come after they've been doing their expedition of gold, and then they would start a feud.
I see your response, Michael. I would rather be at home watching basketball, but I made a prior commitment. I told Chris I would do this. So I'm going to do that. Go Gamecocks, by the way. And whatever.
We got TVs in here.
And plus, I have it recording, and I watched the first half, which is why we're a little bit late getting on here. And that big dude from Gonzaga, that dude's scary. All right, please stay out of the room. Stay out of the room. We'll be there in a moment. All right, so let's kick Chris out of the office, which is something I do on a daily basis and enjoy. He's watching through the glass, which is creepy, even creepier than when he stands over my shoulder. All right. Alexa Bliss versus all available women, and who's the woman from NXT?
Asuka?
Who's the champ from
Asuka?
The rumor is that she's going to come in and possibly win the belt.
Bliss is my girl though, but I know Bliss won't win.
What is Bliss? What'd you call her?
My girl.
The 5 feet of what?
5 feet of fury.
That's right. Okay.
If Asuka doesn't come, they'll let Naomi win in front of her.
I should root for Bliss because she's from Ohio too. All right. The king of the cruiserweights. I can't do it. Neville versus Austin Aries. Here's the thing. I don't like Austin Aries that much. But even though I didn't get to see all of Raw Monday, I did see him with the New Day. That kind of changed my mind a little bit. If the New Day's behind him, so am I. Go Austin Aries. I think Austin Aries wins this because they're going to start a nice feud between the two.
I do think they're going to keep feuding, and I want A-Double to win, but I got some feeling that they're going to let Neville hang on at Mania.
All right, one more match to talk about. Chris has left the room, so he's no longer creepily looking through the glass.
He left his breath on the...
No, man, that's nose. Ugh. I should look... Dude, I mean, come on. I know Tara didn't do that. Anyway, so final match is the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And... no one knows who's going to win a Battle Royal, so my money's on Shaq.
Shaq ain't showing up. He's back down from the Big Show.
My money's
I
on
lost a
Shaq.
little respect for Shaq after backing out.
My money's on Shaq. So, all right,
I think Strowman's winning.
Strowman's going to win it. He probably will. Or Sami Zayn. I mean, who is a wild card.
They book him to lose all the time.
They do, so it would be a surprise, right? It definitely would be a surprise. Or Kurt Angle.
Kurt ain't coming out.
Doing his one more match by winning
That ain't what
Battle
the
Royal.
people want.
That doesn't matter what the people want. It's whoever
All right,
writes
Vince.
it. Anyway, it's what's best for business. You know what's best for business? The Upstate Pulse being on the air right now. But of course we're not, thanks to the powers that be. We will be back next week.
Write some angry letters.
That's
emails.
right. Angry Letters, 25 Garlington Road, by the way, if you want to send them. Attention, LexCorp. We'll see where they go. So we're going to go play some Dungeons & Dragons, and we will be back on the air next week. In case you didn't know, I'm Lonzo. He's Zach, half of the Upstate Pulse. Thanks to the 5 or 6 people that tuned in to watch this.
Oh,
7
went to
people.
6.
Yeah, there was more than that in the beginning. But we said we'd do it, so we did. And we will continue to do more of this. And, yes, this is my office, by the way. So you see all this stuff. This is my office. There's Tara's side of the office. And there's a creepy doll over there. I don't know, is the doll on there? I can't see.
It's right there.
It's a creepy doll. All right, so we will see you guys on the radio next week. Bye-bye.
Hopefully.